Hello everyone. So today we'll see different types of variables in Java. So we have three types of variables, which is local variable, static variable, and instance variables. These are the three types of variables in Java. Let's see first the theory part, and then we will deep dive into the code. So the first one, local variables. So by definition, local variables are declared inside the methods and constructors or blocks. Okay, we will see. We will relate each of these points in the code. For now, let's go point by point. So when are they created? They are created when the method or block is starting, and they are destroyed once the method or block ends. So basically, that is the scope, and the visibility is only inside the method or block, and it is stored in the stack memory, which means, so if you see this particular example, so this is your stack, right? So you will have all the local variables inside your stack. Okay, and then this is a very important point that there are no default values assigned to the local variables. This is the most important point, and you have to remember this. It must be initialized before use. We will see practically what these two mean. You cannot declare a local variable without initializing it, or because like there are no default values. So you must initialize it before use. The word initialize before use, we will discuss about this. Okay. And access modifiers are not allowed. What are access modifiers? Public, private, all these keywords are called as access modifiers. So for local variables, you cannot write any access modifiers as a prefix. Okay, now let's go into the code part for this. So now you can see that say this particular class called local variable demo, and basically this is my main method, and I've just written few printing statements. Main method is started, and then I'm just calling this method which is calculate salary. Okay, now this will just try to calculate the salary. Okay, for now don't care about what the logic is and all. This is just to explain the code. So here, observe one thing, this method is a static method. Okay, one point that you have to remember is, for static methods, if you want to call the static methods, you don't have to create any object. You could directly call the static method using the class name. Currently we are not using the class name here as a prefix. The reason is, these two methods are in the same class, so you don't have to explicitly use the name of the class in order to call the method. You don't have to do this because they are in the same method. Okay, you don't have to do this, so I'm just calling the method. We will discuss all these concepts in the upcoming video tutorials, but for now, understand that this particular method is a static method. I can directly call it because the method from which I'm calling it and the method which is being called, both are in the same class. So I'm just directly calling this method, and this is a static method. Now here, inside the method, as per the definition, the variables which are declared inside the method are called local variables. Here, int salary is 50,000. So this is a local variable, and I'm trying to print the salary. Okay, so salary is this. So this amount will be printed. Now I have a if block saying if salary is greater than 10,000, there is some bonus that I've written. Int bonus is 5,000, something like this. Now this if is a block. So inside the block also you could create a main method. Sorry, you could create a local variable, right? So local variables can be declared inside methods, constructors, and blocks. So this is an if block. So we will see what constructors are in the upcoming tutorials. Okay. So for now, you just see that this is how local variables are defined. Now I'm just printing the local variable here. Okay, now since the visibility of this variable bonus is within these blocks, after this it is destroyed. So if you try to print it outside it, it will give you an error. So let me just run this. So let's see what the output is. So if we see the output, salary is 50,000, bonus is 5,000, and main method is ended. That's what um, it is giving us the answer. As per this, you can just take a pause. So main method is started, so first this is printed, and then this method is called. Inside this method we are printing the salary, and then we are printing the bonus. It is fine, right? And then once this method is over, your control is coming back to the main method, and you are trying to print main method has ended. Simple. Okay. Now one more thing is, let's say if I try to print the bonus here, let's save it and let's try to run it. And if I run it, it will give me an error that this variable is not defined because the visibility is between this block. Okay. And when is it created in the stack memory? Once you enter it and once you exit it, it will be destroyed, right? What we have seen so far. That's why we are getting an error. Okay. Let's remove this, comment this line. Okay, so I've added a single line comment, so now it is running fine. Now there is one more concept that I want to share. So if you do int temp, okay, you have defined a variable or you have declared a variable, and now let's assume that you are trying to print this variable without initializing anything. Okay, since it's a local variable, okay, let's say you want to print it without initializing, you can't print it. Even the ID is telling that the variable temp might not have been initialized, so it is giving us an error. So let's just run this. Okay, we have run this and it is giving us an error or warning. So basically an error that Java temp might not have been initialized. Okay, so we have to initialize, right? Let's initialize it with 10. And now let's run this code and see what happens. Now if it will run or not. So we have run this. Okay, now you see the number 10 being printed because we have initialized it. Now let's do one more thing. Uh, I'll just try to remove this temp here. It is just declared, and I'll write temp here and I'll just assign some value 20 here. Now take a pause and guess whether it's correct or not. So it will run successfully and you will see the output as 20 here in the console. The reason is, if you see the statement that we've read, that it must be initialized before use. Where are we using it? We are using it at this line. So it must be initialized before we use. Generally, while declaring the variable itself, we will try to initialize and will not do something like this. The best way to write this would be int temp is equal to 20. So this is the best way to write it. Okay. So that's about the local variables, and we will see about instance variables and static variables in the next video.